Hello, let us know if you are live.
Yeah, I have it pulled up and I'm not
just checking. Give it a minute, there's usually a lag.
Oop. It's up. Except you're missing. Oh, wait, there you are.
There we are. Okay, if there are any technical issues, let me know because I'm not sure if I'll be able to see it on my end. And I see Mary's here. Hi, Mary. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, hi, Mary.
Okay, so this week, my guest is Allie Earnest. Allie, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, I would love to. My name is Allie Earnest, like she said, and it's down at the bottom there. I am an aspiring YA, not YA and adult, I say that, but more adult, whatever, sci-fi and fantasy author. I host YouTube writing sprints on my channel, usually on Tuesday, Thursday mornings. And I have my book I'm querying at present. And with COVID, I understand it's going a little slow, so I'm still in the trenches still. So, but I'm working on my next novel, which is a sequel in the series. So, I'm excited. I like it.
And you know me, I am Leigh-An Johnson. I'm currently working a dystopian sci-fi fantasy novel and also a Neverland retelling serial. Both of those are in the drafting stage. Yeah.
Oh, it sounds fun.
We've been having a lot of fun lately talking about the different serials that people are working on. I would like to do like an update live on YouTube talking about my serial, the concept of it, and getting that.
I would like to hear that personally.
Time in the coming weeks.
I think the concept of serials is actually really interesting. A lot.
Definitely.
Glenn, you broke up.
Oh yeah, I like that form. If like a novel feels overwhelming to you, then breaking it up into a serial is helpful. Oh, I'm broken up again?
Yeah, just a little bit.
This is the internet. We love it and we hate it. Okay. So do we want to get started on the flash fiction this week?
Yes, I'm excited about it. Super excited. Not biased at all because I'm here, but
and just so everyone knows, Allie was the one who chose this week's flash fiction. Allie chose this week's prompt, and if anyone else would like to be a guest on one of my Write With Me sessions, the guest gets to choose the prompt. So hold on, I'm going to screen share to show everyone the prompt that we're working with.
And is there a word count minimum or maximum for flash fiction? Kind of what's the deal with that maybe?
I don't put a minimum on it, but the maximum I put is 1,500 words.
Okay.
Are you seeing the screen share?
Yes, it's thinking about it. Hey, there you go. Now it's showing up. Yes, it looks so good.
There we go.
I'm biased, but I love this week's prompt.
Okay, so let's see. I know, it looks assassiny. That was the first thing that came to mind. Oh, I just saw Kayla come in. Hi, Kayla.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah, I like it because I like the lighting choices here. I know that's kind of maybe a weird thing to point out, but I like how everything's kind of dark and gloomy, but then you have the tavern lights and you have things kind of, it's full of life. So you can go with it different ways with that, I think.
Yeah, the rain or the fog, that can speak to like both the atmosphere at this particular time and maybe the weather of this place overall.
Yeah.
Remember when you first showed me this, I said that we could like build a world from this picture. I would like to have a let's build a world session sometime.
That would be so much fun. That's my
So
favorite
that is
part.
definitely also on my schedule. That could be like a series live streams where we build a character in that world and then we build a story in the world. So like over 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh, I love it.
Okay,
I love it so much.
But that's for later. Let's focus on the fiction right now.
I know, exactly. We're getting sidetracked. I also like how there's like different people in the background. You can choose whichever character you want.
In this picture, yeah, something that came to mind for me, like we see the guy with the knife, and so that's what put assassin in my mind. But what came to mind for me is I recently read a book where everybody carries swords because that is the culture, because there are monsters in this world, so people have to be ready to fight. So it's just the culture that they're armed. So I'm wondering if we can do something similar here, or if it really is just one guy who's an assassin.
I kind of like that idea. Now I'm curious what book that was. I kind of want to read it.
Mary says, that's amazing. I love it. Yes, we do. Okay, so first things first with ours. I'm probably going to be using that person at the front of the picture.
See, I think I might choose the guy walking toward him.
This is definitely a fantasy.
Yes. But I think you go sci-fi with it. I think because like the shape of the buildings and stuff too. You could go with sci-fi.
There's a lot. Yeah. Or a cross genre. This one looks like a sci-fi fantasy. Depends on what kind of technological level this world has. You see like that bridge looking thing in the background. Maybe that's like a train.
I was thinking train. I was also thinking aqueduct too. Some kind of aqueduct bringing water into the city or out of the city or something as well. Somehow.
Oh, Mary. Mary was saying kind of like how Brittany Wang and Beth Altazada wrote a Save the Cat story, outlined the story through that. She's talking about like our Let's Build a World idea. Yeah, I like that idea.
That was really cool. That was really cool.
We can talk more about that after. Okay, so usual question, and I use my audience. Who is the world where carrying a knife is the culture? Audience, vote. Let's hear what our audience says. Which one do you like?
Tell us, please.
I'm trying to think, what would that culture, like in that book I was talking about, Shadow of the Conqueror, their use of, they have a dueling culture. Everybody carries swords and everybody carries swords because there are reasons that people have to be prepared to fight. So it all stems from that. So what would be created where people are dressed like this and are armed like this? Mary says like, we broke up, so she couldn't hear the question. My question for the audience was, is this a what?
Hold on. Maybe if you type it
what
in,
if he's what?
maybe. Oh, I was gonna say, what if he's like he's the only one who can carry it? What if it's like
I'll
actually
put my question in the chat.
Yeah. Like, what if he's the only one who can carry it because the blades are banned? Because it looks like it's a really cool sword. Or like a little dagger thing, because it looks like it's almost curved in a sense. So maybe it's a special brand, and so maybe he's kind of hiding it from the people coming toward him. So either like he is an assassin, but what if he's not allowed to have one, and he is going to kill somebody with it? Maybe there's something with that.
He going to do this thing that he's not allowed to do with a blade that he's not allowed to have.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just lost your sound.
Oh no!
Okay, we're gonna push through. Internet annoying, but we're gonna push through.
We're gonna do it. We can do it.
So my question for the audience was: is this a lone assassin, or is it a culture where everyone would carry a blade? That was my first question. Yeah.
Let's see which one.
Kayla says it's a culture. Okay, so if this is a culture, Kayla's also saying armed culture or status symbol.
Oh,
that's
I
interesting.
like that.
I had an idea once where like there's this empire and there are people who wear like kind of those cloak things and they're the vigilantes of the empire.
I like that idea too. I think that's cool as a status
Maybe
symbol.
knife is a status symbol, like only the most elite can have that kind of knife. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like what Mary said too.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring up the comments on the screen. Sorry, my computer's going a little bit slow.
It's all good.
Yeah, Mary says maybe not everyone. A culture within the bigger culture, like a warriors guild
really
or assassins guild. I've never really been that into guilds. Pardon?
I said I like that idea too, where it's just like a culture within a culture.
A culture. Okay, so this is a subculture of the bigger world that this guy fits into, and that other person approaching him is also like wearing one of those that people are wearing hoods, are they? Well, maybe the person walking towards him is in the same subculture because their outfits look the same. So
yeah,
a clandestine meeting, perhaps, or he's about to kill a traitor. The other person is a traitor, so he's been sent to kill him.
I was also thinking too, it's like two rival cultures, like with blades, where like he's kind of part of one gang, this guy's walking toward him as part of the other one, and so he's waiting for him somehow as well.
Okay,
so
yeah, as you said gang just now, we said guild before, but then you said gang. So are these like guilds like set in the social structure, or are they gangs like criminals?
Ooh, I think we should ask that question to the audience because that's a good one, I think, to delineate.
Okay, I'm putting that in the a social guild or criminal gangs. And something else I just saw, look on the roof of the building. There's a figure crouched there again wearing one of those black cloaks.
Oh, I didn't see that.
You see that?
Yes, now I do, but you pointed it out.
This was your picture and you didn't see it?
I didn't.
You gave me this picture and you didn't see that?
No, but it's such a cool thing.
Okay, so maybe both our dagger guy and the roof prowler, maybe they're on the same team and they're about to ambush the person walking towards them in the rain.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
We have an ambush. Okay, so then who is the person walking in the rain? We need to know who that is. Mary says if they are guilds, but some behavior have become like gangs, a legit organization has become crust. Is that what you mean, Mary? That's interesting.
And I think that kind of fits with like the atmosphere of the picture too, because it's raining.
That goes
it's
with what I said before, like maybe the person they're about to ambush. Yeah. It also fits like what I said before, like maybe the guy with the knife, he's on one side and he's about to ambush the other person because either they have gone or criminal and he's about to assassinate someone.
Yeah.
Somebody's gone criminal.
Somebody's bad.
Okay, so we have an organization that has split in half because like the two leaders had a disagreement, and so half of them have gone criminal, and now the other half is hunting them down, or vice versa. One half is hunting the other. I don't know.
I kind of like that. I like that a lot because I feel like it gives you a good plot to use. For sure.
Mm-hmm. And my next question then, is the person on to help with a knife ambush the person in the rain, or are they watching and seeing what's going to happen and they're about to step in and help the person in the rain?
What do people think? Let us know in the comments. I was more thinking that like they were kind of like, I'm getting away from here.
What's your take on that? Is the person on the roof coming to help ambush the person in the rain, or are they coming to help them? Pardon?
I was kind of thinking that they're kind of like a lookout type. They're kind of picking the targets as they go because they have such a high vantage point. Oh, hi.
So they spotted the person walking in the rain and let the other person know so he'd be ready to ambush them.
Because why else would he be up so high? That's for like a lookout position.
We need for the person who is being ambushed to have, where are they going? Why is it important there? And why are they trying to? Yeah. When I start writing these flash fictions, I end up describing the scene. Put a motive in. This one gives us a lot to work with.
It does. That's why I chose it.
Okay, so
I like it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a motive for our person here walking in the rain. Where are they going?
What if it's a setup?
You think
I know we have
this guy doesn't look like he's particularly hidden. The guy with the knife doesn't look like he's particularly hidden. It looks like he's waiting for that person, but not necessarily to ambush, but like they're having a meeting.
Like, what if it's a fake meeting? Like, what if the guy set him up like, hey, I have this information
for you. Maybe the person on the roof spy on them and find out what they're meeting about.
Maybe.
I think I just gave myself too many options again.
No!
Okay, we need to settle on something. Go with it. You want to settle on our ambush idea?
I like the ambush idea a lot. That's just my personal fave.
Also, chat, you can give your input on any part of it.
Yeah, please do. Yeah. So every time I sit down and like I think of something, I end up changing it.
We need a third opinion to break the tie. You broke up again, Allie.
Oh, okay.
What were you saying?
Trying to think. I said usually when I do have flash fiction, I always have a certain plan in my head, but then when I write it, it just completely goes a different way. That's what I love about writing.
Mm-hmm. I just saw a comment from Bella. It hasn't come up. Let's see. She says, or the guy could be the one who caused the storm to lure people into the shelters where he can attack them. That kind of fits with another idea I had. Like, okay, what if this guild is like a guild of magic users? They each have an individual power, and one of them can like bring the storms or affect the weather. And so like making it rain or storm was a way to drive this person to in a particular direction. So stabby guy there can get to them.
That'd be really cool.
Once I get into brainstorming, you probably notice.
I love brainstorming because it's just so much fun.
Okay, we still need. I like that idea. I like that as well. Yeah, it's just fun. It's creative. You can go off in different directions. You could end up with 5 different story ideas.
Yep.
Okay, one thing we still don't have. We have scenarios. We have a bit of world building. We don't have a motive. What do they want? That's always the trickiest part for me with these fast fictions. What do the characters actually want? I like building the world, but we need people.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's still my question. What is Guy in the Rain doing?
I think they've made some sort of deal. Type deal, like where like it's money, whether what.
Okay, so this one, the guy with the knife, that's a man. The person coming towards them, we can't tell if it's a man or a woman. So what if it's a woman? And they are coming, they're from like opposing guilds or gangs, and so they're coming to meet silently, quietly, in secret. And the guy on the roof is spying on them and is going to rat them out, and that's like them killed.
Oh, that's a dark turn right there. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, because then that looks like deeper relationship into this gang war kind of. We don't know if it could be criminal. It's called that corrupt government. There's always a corrupt government, isn't there?
Always.
So it could be like a split between, yeah. Okay, so I like that story idea. By the way, chat, you can follow the idea that we're coming up with, or you can write your own during our writing sprints, whichever works for you. So I like that idea, the relationship that I just came up with, is that we want to use. Do any of the other characters stand out to you?
The one walking the opposite way. I'm thinking they know what's going on, but they don't want to get involved in some way for some reason.
Well, yeah, maybe she recognizes from their clothing that they are part of this guild or gang, and so she is hurrying the other direction.
Yeah, I feel like she knows what's going on some way, somehow. And so she's kind of beelining out of there because I think it kind of sets up the clandestine meeting here as well.
Possibly. Do any of these buildings, I'm looking at all the details now, do any of these buildings, lights in the background, do you think they have significance?
I think they just honestly help set the mood where that's kind of what I was thinking. I don't think they necessarily have any significance to the story.
But yeah, that does set the atmosphere though. Like we can have the contrast of whatever is going on in that place is probably a tavern. Tavern's always what comes to mind. So yeah, they could have that cheery atmosphere of people drinking and singing. Pardon?
Well, I said that was
Sorry, I
what I
didn't
was
hear
thinking
that.
too.
Yeah, contrast between gloom and grime with people celebrating something inside. Who knows? Okay, so we have a good scenario here. You want to do our first?
Hold on, you broke up. What'd you say? Sorry.
Hold on. The guy on the roof is the person the woman thinks she's going to see, but instead of finding him shelter, it's a hitman wearing his clothes. He's hooded, hiding his face so she doesn't know. Ooh, she's walking into a trap, and then guy on the roof is trying to get there to warn him, but he doesn't get there in time, and he has to watch her fight and possibly die. I'm getting dramatic now.
You just go. You're like,
But
you're
yeah,
in it.
that's interesting. So we could have like in the beginning, because she's going to meet her partner, and so we have that relationship with the gloomy atmosphere, and so we think maybe good is going to happen. Then oh no, something horrible happens. I'm getting
You're itching to write right now.
this is, and thank you for being here, Bella. Thank you. Okay, so let's start our first writing sprint.
Do it.
Okay, I'm gonna set a timer for 15 minutes and I'll leave the picture up on screen so we have the reference.
Perfect.
Ready, go. Hello?
Hello.
Internet problems. Let me know if you're hearing me, please.
I can hear ya. A little broken up still every now and then, but I can still hear ya.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
I liked where I was going with this one.
Allie,
I think it's going to be a longer one for me. I can hear you. You kind of break up every now and then, but I can hear you. It just breaks up. It might be a little laggy.
Allie?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's
I can hear you a little bit. You just break up. I think it's more of a lag. Yeah.
Felt like a very atmosphere. My character, she's walking on her way to where she's going, and the other people, they avoid her.
Oh. Leigh-An, come back. We lost Leigh-An. Hey guys. How y'all doing? Let me see if I can get a hold of Leigh-An because she might have just gotten raptured by the internet. Leigh-An, come back. Come back.
What just happened?
I don't know. I just saying you got raptured by the internet.
Something just happened on my. Ooh, the internet abducted me. Okay, but I'm back here. Yeah, glad I'm back. I was saying mine felt like a very foreboding atmosphere. People are afraid of these people. And so there's a whole lot of backstory and history there, probably. And so she's on her way to where she's going, and yeah. What I have in my head, she is the one who held down the rain to like disguise her presence. You know, when it rains, everybody holds on their way and keeps their head down so nobody's really noticing her. In part, that's so that she doesn't see everyone afraid of her so much, and also because she's going somewhere that she doesn't want anyone to know. And then I had a little clip that I wrote where the person on the roof, her partner or whoever he recognized the range her doing because he knows she's walking into a trap. And so we're feeling it. Something bad is going to happen here.
I went from the other guy. I went from the knife guy's perspective. And I tried to create a really gritty world where they have the guilds and stuff like that. Obviously, it's kind of where we're going as well. You're going. But basically, it's a setup kind of with the chick walking toward him. And she doesn't know that it's a setup, kind of what we were talking about earlier. But I really liked the world I'm kind of setting up, because that's kind of what I spent most of the time doing, about 200 words, is setting up the world, getting everything in place so I can then have the action about to happen.
Yeah, that's usually where I start too. Question. Again, we're probably going to get sidetracked with this, but if we're doing a Let's Build a World series, is this the world you want to work with? Or do you want to start scratch with something else?
I think we start with something else, even though like half of me is like, I really like this world. But I think we should start just completely new. Just for kicks.
Okay.
So I love this one.
Okay, so you and me will talk about that later.
We shall chat. We shall chat.
I love it. This one feels very atmospheric.
Mm-hmm.
It's very atmospheric, like you need to capture the right tone for this kind of thing. I like this prompt. I really do.
I like it too. One thing I did with that reminds me, speaking
Like,
of the
even
atmosphere.
the things that seem cheerful, even the things that seem cheerful have a gloomy cast on them.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. And one thing I tried to do
I was saying even the
with
things seem cheerful, me cast over it. What were you saying?
I was saying that like I tried to make it to seem that like the rainwater is kind of a normal thing, but because it usually runs with blood too. That's kind of a normal thing. And if people know it's raining, they know blood's gonna
Ooh.
spill, so they stay in their houses. Not that the blood's
What's
coming
the
from the sky or
blood?
anything, but that's just kind of the perfect night to go out and like fight people in a sense. Because it's not well run. The nobles and the people don't care
so
what
that-
happens to the lowers. Mhm.
So that kind of weather is a time when those who want to do wrong will go out and do their wrong.
Yeah.
That's the kind of night for it. Okay.
Yes. It hides the screams well.
This world is. I'm forgetting story and thinking of like just how does this world work, because I'm forgetting the story. Okay, I don't forget the story, but my mind wants to go into build this now.
I'm with ya. I'm with ya. I get it. I feel ya. It's just so fun.
This does not feel like a short story to me. It feels like an opening chapter. Like I'm going to write the opening chapter and then I'm going to want to sit and outline and brainstorm the rest of the book. I love that, and I also hate it because then I don't work on the actual projects that I'm working on now.
Yeah, I kind of have short attention spans that way. I always do the flash fiction. Everyone I've done, I've
so maybe it needs to be longer than flash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have them written down in my story idea binder. Most of my flash fictions, I have larger ideas for them, so I jot down the notes and I put it aside. I cannot do that right now, so I put down my notes and put it aside. But yeah,
that's what I do.
Almost all of my flash fictions so far have done that to me.
I think that means we're good authors or writers or something, I'm sure. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing if you can actually finish something.
Also true.
Speaking of finishing, I'm still trying to figure out the ending for this.
I don't know it. I don't know it. I'm just going to write and it's going to end. I'm going to be happy with it.
Like I said, it feels like it doesn't get chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I had an idea while I was writing. Let me bring the picture so we can all see what I'm talking about. Earlier, you said like the woman who was walking in the opposite direction. Mm-hmm. You said that you think she might play a part, like the woman gets killed by the guy with the dagger. He wants to avenge her, of course. That's usually how it goes. And this woman who was walking away, she was hurrying away because she saw these two guild members. She saw the killer's face.
Ooh. Yes. Yes.
So we have a witness.
You know what happens to witnesses, so just saying.
And so I'm just figuring out, like, just how to put that in the ending. Yeah. Okay, so somehow Dagger Guy knows that he saw her, and so he's going to be hunting her down. Had his girlfriend die, is going to have to protect using her to track down the killer guy. They need names.
It's so dark, but I love it. I love it.
I've heard that plot. Someone They tell me if that plot is somewhere known. Sure, I'm sure that's been used, but I like it.
I mean, you're gonna put your own spin on
But
it,
if there's
so
like
it's
a
fine.
movie or book or something that I should know that has that plot, just let me know. Yeah, I know, but I also like to know if there are similar stories out there to something I'm thinking of. Because
Only
then
thing
I can know if like what I'm thinking, if it has been done, then how can I twist it more?
Yeah. The only thing that came to mind, honestly, is kind of dumb, but it is the Mary-Kate and Ashley old movie that I loved. I can't remember which one it is, but where they saw a robber robbing something, and so they had to go into the witness protection program, and they ended up in Australia because the guy is out to kill them. That's what popped into my mind with that.
I don't think I know that one. I know New York Minute. I know that.
I love New York Minute. It's a good one.
And Full House.
Hold on.
Oh,
I love
where
it.
Sue switched thing.
Let me see if I can look it up. Ashley movie witness.
Okay.
Our lips are sealed. That's what
the title that
Our
just came to my mind. Huh? That's what it's called?
Our lips are sealed. Yeah.
What would you title this? What kind of title do you put on a world like this?
I don't know. Something dark and mysterious.
Has an ominous tone with our whole witness.
I think I'd have to definitely finish it first because it could go multiple different ways. I don't know how I'm going to finish it.
Nothing is 100% original, so I wouldn't worry. It's like knowing if there's something similar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true.
Anything else we want to add to the brainstorm, or should we sprint again?
I kind of want to sprint again. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, sprint?
Yeah.
Okay, we are going into the sprint. Timer, ready, set, go. sprint number 2.
Sprint number 2
How
is
did everyone
over.
do for that
Woo!
sprint?
I didn't get a whole lot of words. I did a little bit of editing, but
more world building, I think.
what did you come up with?
What did you say?
I said, what did you come up with?
I came up with some world building from mine. We said before was one who called down the rain, so she has an ability. So what each guild member has a specific ability, and so the guy with the knife, his ability is shape shifting. We're close enough to kill her. Guilds came to mind for me. They have these abilities because they're given them by the government. I'm sorry, I just lost the document I was working on. My computer's acting weird. So the thought was that they get their abilities from the government in exchange for their loyalty and servitude. So the government uses them to enforce the law, supposed to be their legal sanctions are.
That sounds really cool. I like the idea of the government kind of handing out.
And so the woman was trying to buy her freedom from the guild, which is why she was killed.
Ah, I like.
Chat, let me know if you're hearing me. Sarah says that again.
Yeah, you keep freezing and kind of cutting out on my end as well.
Are you hearing me, Allie?
I can, but it's really patchy.
They have to serve completely. They can't leave. They have to obey whatever orders they're given. So it's a steep price to pay for whatever power they get.
I really like that idea. I like how not anyone can get magic if they want, but they have to pay a certain price.
Sorry about that. I'm not sure. The internet doesn't like me today. Bella said she got through her. Well done, Bella. But it's getting late. UK, she has to go.
Oh no, Leigh-An, come back. We lost you again. No. Okay, while we're waiting for Leigh-An to get back, I'm not sure she'll be able to get back or not. We will see. let me know, what are you working on? Have you been able to get a good feel of the world? How many words are you in? I see that Bella got 276. And that's awesome. Oh, here she is. She's back now. Maybe. Okay, you're back again.
I'm so internet not like me today.
No, it doesn't. Is it storming where you are or
I'm getting
anything?
kicked out of my own live stream. It was thunder and rain this afternoon. It's cleared up right now. I think it's just like my router that I have is old. It needs to be replaced. I'm thinking that's it. But it works when I'm doing other things. It's the first time I'm going into live stream regularly.
Mm.
So yeah, I need to update my equipment here. I work on that. In the meantime, I'm doing the best with what I have. I've had a lot of fun tonight, and I really love this prompt that you gave us, Allie. It's been fun.
I did too.
So, do you want to risk me getting kicked off again and do another sprint, or do you want to call it a night?
I
I'm willing
feel
to risk
like
it.
I want to see if I can finish it, because I'm not even close to finishing it. So I probably won't finish it tonight anyway, but I can probably do one more sprint for sure.
Okay. I don't think I'm
push
going
it.
to
We'll push it
finish
to the
either. My
limit.
mind is going more into the world building than the actual story right now. Yeah. Okay, so let's see how much more story we can get in another 15 minutes. Mary says she's been working on dinner. That is very productive, Mary.
I agree.
She's asking, can we have access to the picture later? The credit for the picture is in the description of this video, so you can click on that to see the picture. Sarah says she's writing by hand, so not sure about the word count, but she's written 3 pages back and front. Nice. Okay, so let's go for another 15 minutes. Hope the internet lasts that long, and it's nice to me this time. Ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, 15 minutes. Ready, set, go. Time's up. And I'm still here. Let's see if that lasts.
Cross your fingers.
So how did that?
It did fine. I'm at like 350 words, which is good. And I think I know how I want to end it, but I'm not there yet. So, yeah.
What were you saying? I think you cut out.
Oh, it's fine. So I got around 350 words total, and I know how I want to end it, but I am not there yet. And so getting there is going to be a little hard for me, I think.
Yeah, same for me. I have about 500 words. Some of it are just notes on world building. I did name my characters though. Sorry.
Oh, it took me a while to name mine.
So I figured out something about the knife guy. He is what they call a reaper. The guild are what the government uses to like keep the populace in check and under control, and the reapers are what they send after any guild member who goes rogue.
I like this. I like it a lot.
So I have more lore. And something about the woman, I named her Carol. The reaper is Rays, and the man on the roof trying to save her, his name is Doran. And something I thought of for Doran speaking, and actually make reference to that he can't speak. And I think that's because his ability, whatever it is tied to his voice, which is why he chooses not to speak most of the time. I don't know what his ability is yet, but that is what I have in my head.
Oh, I really like it. I want this to be a whole story.
Me too. I don't think I have a flash. I have a flash. Allie, I will keep you updates on what I do with this one.
Please do.
I'd like to hear yours too.
Something else. Yeah, I named mine. So the city they're living in is called Tanith. And the afterlife, I've brought that in, is called Zion, but it's spelled with an X. Because I really wanted the Y stuff and to kind of sound futuristic sci-fi. So the woman's name that's walking toward them is named Lanira, and then the guy waiting with the knife is named Aravan. So I haven't named the guy on the roof though.
I like your names.
I do too. I like them a lot.
Oh, I thought of its significance for that knife as well.
Oh, you did?
Remember we said that the knife is like a status symbol, the kind of knife that he has, like some kind of special material. Somebody made that comment before. And so I was thinking that it's a knife that only Reapers use because it's a kind of material that can kill the guild members. Like the guild members, they're harder to kill, not just because of their powers. Maybe they're more resilient than ordinary people. Maybe they can heal. And so this knife is what the Reapers use. And so after Doran finds her dead, he has another friend of his who has a power to like maybe see like the last moments of her life, and he gets a glimpse of this knife and he knows it was a Reaper's knife. So now they want to know which Reaper killed her.
Ooh, I like that. Also, to go along with that, what if like certain guilds can take like potions or something that kind of enhances their skin or their armor or something like that, or makes it harder for someone normal to kill them, but the Reaper's knife can cut through whatever, potion or something they use to protect themselves can cut through that.
This knife can negate whatever powers they have. The Reaper's knife can negate whatever powers they have, even if they enhance their powers with like whatever potion or whatever else there is. I like that having their own powers. Like maybe there's a base set of powers, like they're all stronger and more resilient, and then they each have their individual power as well. And then
Yeah,
there's
and
also like this alchemy, maybe, or some form
I
of
always
other
love alchemy.
magic study that plays into it, like it can enhance their powers. These alchemy things, would they work on ordinary people or would they be toxic to ordinary people? Because in building the world, you'd have to think of that too. Because ordinary people would want it if it can enhance them as well.
I wonder if you can play, because I like the idea you were saying earlier with how the government kind of controls all the powers. And so you can buy it off the government. And so I think anyone can, garner it. So you could even have like a black market and all that jazz kind of going on. And you make it such a gritty world. But I think that comes at such a high price that maybe it is toxic to normal people. And so you have to buy it through the government or something. And you can kind of work with that and play with it, I think.
Not to mention any unauthorized usage, the government would probably send in the guild to wipe them out.
Exactly.
Any unauthorized usage. Mary wants to read this. So do I.
Can someone else write it, please, so we can read it?
Thanks. Like finding comparable book. Okay, what I said before about like finding comparable books with like the similar atmosphere, the similar plot, part of that, it's not really comparing my story to something else, because I know nothing's completely original. Part of that is seeing how this kind of tone has been carried off before.
Yeah.
Like just knowing like what does this tone feel like in like other well done work? And also what would readers expect something that promises this tone?
I mean, it's definitely grimdark. I was thinking
so reading is research.
Yeah, exactly. It is research. I was thinking like Game of Thrones, or I'm reading Half a King right now.
Fiction. I will write that scene. And post it somewhere, but this is a novel. This is not one small story and done.
Yes, it is.
What were you saying? You mentioned something else?
I was trying to remember like a comparable title, and it kind of feels like the world of Half a King by Joe Abercrombie. It's his YA trilogy. I haven't finished it yet, but it's very gritty, very like cutthroat type deal. Kind of felt like that. And it kind of also gave me the impression of Game of Thrones, which I haven't watched or read Game of Thrones, granted, but I know enough about it to feel like it's kind of in that realm of the grim dark and, just the grittiness of that.
Yeah, real consequences happening, the real threat that your characters could be killed if you make a mistake. But I'm not thinking like, for this one, it feels like it's contained to whatever city it is they're living in and not like the broad world of Game of Thrones. Yeah. This one be contained into the city to maintain that one atmosphere.
Actually, it kind of feels like, once you talk about that, kind of sounds like...
I've heard of Joe Abercrombie and I've seen interviews with him, but I haven't read it. Sorry, I heard of Joe Abercrombie, but I haven't read his book. So which one was it that you said?
It's called Half a King. I'll put it in the comments too. Okay. It's a trilogy.
I'm going to look it up. I also heard of one, the Gentleman Bastard series, that supposedly has that same tone of gritty set in this one criminal city. I haven't read that one either, but I want to.
Yeah. My sister says it's amazing. I haven't read it though yet. I was also thinking when you're talking about the one city.
I'm going to look up.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking of Six of Crows too, because that takes place kind of in one city as well.
Another one that I have not read.
It's so good. It's so good. I love it.
Okay. Okay, I'll look up that one too on my list. I've heard of it though. I've heard good things.
I think it's one of her best. I read the Grisha trilogy, which I loved the Grisha trilogy. But I think the Six of Crows duology is probably her best work to date, in my opinion.
There's a lot of to-be-reads I need to get to. I've actually been reading less since I started writing more. I need to find the balance.
I'm with you.
Part of a problem I've been finding lately with reading, though, is that when I read something, I start thinking of a story that goes in the similar lines of what I'm reading. And right now, I am writing a pirate fantasy story. So then going into this grim, dark city thing and reading those books is going to pull me out of it.
I understand.
But
I understand. I actually, I run into the fact where I start analyzing everything. I start well, I could have done this better, or man, I like how I end up just analyzing everything, and I can't enjoy it.
Analyzing what you're reading or what you're writing?
What I'm reading.
Yeah, I found myself doing that with this book I just read, Conqueror. I like the story in it, but like the line level thing, some things were repetitive. And like the technical aspect of how those people use their powers, that was like, the first time they use it, you want the explanation, but like he explains the technical part of how they use it almost every time that they use it. That was wearing on me. And like before I started writing, I would not have been bothered by it. I would have just gone through and read the book. But yeah, once you start writing, then you start analyzing.
It's a curse. It's a blessing and a curse.
Reading is no longer just pleasure, it is a class in itself. Yes, it is. But I did enjoy that book, and that one is about this person who was a tyrant. I picture the worst tyrants we know in history. That's him in this fantasy world. Mm-hmm. And he was ousted by a revolution. He escaped and has been living in hiding. He's old now. And through the decades he lived alone in hiding, he came to realize just how evil he was and regrets his life. And so he goes to kill himself. But through some twist of made young again and given superpowers. And so now he is trying to make things better.
Ooh.
And it's an interesting concept.
It is.
I'll put that in the comments too.
Yes.
It's an interesting concept. But for me, reading it, what I ended up thinking about was when he was this evil emperor. If he'd had a child, then what would that child have been raised to be like? Would they be like a sociopath? Would they have been raised to believe that their father's way was right, or would they manage to find their own goodness to stop their father?
Oh, I love it.
It's an interesting character study.
And that guy, he has a YouTube channel. I watch his YouTube. He's awesome.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. In one of his videos that I recently watched, he explained like how the culture, like this is the same thing I was talking about before with the people who all carry swords because it's a dueling culture, how that culture came about as they have these monsters that people have to fight. And that he had a video about that on his YouTube channel. And I like how he explains how the magic, the culture, the monsters, they all tie together. And you have to think about when you're writing how each of these things affect the different aspects of the world.
Oh. I love it.
My mother just said, internet.
Oh, you froze. You froze.
Oh, I've frozen? Am I here?
Well, now you are.
Okay, well, the internet has been kind enough to not kick me off this time. I am grateful. So yeah, the world building for this one is going to be fun. It has a different tone from any story ideas I currently have in my book. in my notebook. That's
I
another
think
thing
it's a
that
good
writing
thing or
flash
bad thing.
fictions have been doing. I now have such a different variety of stories. Okay, pros and cons of that. You can have this different variety of stories, which means you can practice writing in a different tone, a different setting, a different genre. A con of that, once you start publishing, you publish a fantasy book, people are going to expect your next book to be a fantasy book as well. If you keep jumping between genres, your audience, that can confuse an audience. But
it is true.
But it is
You're not
fun to
wrong.
experiment with the different genres. It is fun to experiment with the different genres. What we have from Flash Fiction Friday so far, we now have this one, my first grim dark to see. What do you classify this as? It's like a grim dark urban fantasy kind of thing. Okay. But in a kind of urban setting. And I'm sorry, I'm just looking back at my phone at some of the flash fictions I have here on Instagram. I have a desert fantasy, that was the fun. There's a cyberpunk one, a sci-fi. There's the desert fantasy, which actually created the idea for my Neverland retelling. And then I have an urban fantasy with a time-traveling book. I have a supernatural horror about the Black Shuck. I like that one. I actually have a short story or even a graphic novel type book.
Yeah.
Fun. Those were all very fun to write. And for that last one, the supernatural horror, when that prompt was chosen, it was suggested by another person in the group. I had no idea what I was going to write with that one. I was very pleased with how it turned out.
I really liked the cyberpunk one. I think that was probably my favorite.
Yeah, that one, I have that in my book as like another story idea that I want to explore, to expand on.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
So those are the pros and cons of flash fiction.
I really like how flash fiction kind of challenges you.
You're just flooded with ideas.
Wait, what did you say?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was agreeing with you. That challenge right there. This one in particular, compacting what I now have in my head down to 1,000-word short story is going to be challenging. Like I said, I don't think I can make this a story like with a beginning, middle, end. It's an opening chapter. It's a chapter that's going to feel like that. You're going to want to know where the hell is the rest of it.
It just ends.
Mm-hmm. Good news though, that means I have a teaser to put up on a website so that people can follow and they want the rest of the book when it comes out.
Exactly.
That's one way to use them. Okay, we've been going for just about 2 hours. About time to wrap it up.
Sounds good to me. That was good. I really enjoyed that. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you so much for coming. It has been fun. I'm very glad you suggested this prompt. It's a new type of challenge for me, switching up the genres again. And I like the story ahead. I'm going to eat dinner and then like write out plot points that I'm coming up with for the larger story.
Well, have a fun night.
So thank you for joining me, Allie. Thank you those in the chat for joining us. Thank you those in the chat for joining us and participating as we ramble and brainstorm about flash fictions and short stories and everything else that came to mind today. And I should be back next week with another guest that will be announced on my Instagram. All the links to follow me and Allie are in the description below. And have a good night.